Welcome to Delphica. Discover historical hoaxes and their impact in this intriguing video journey through time and deception. Let's start. The inhabited moon. In 1835, a bold and sensational news spread rapidly in the United States. Strange bat-like men, winged unicorns, and fantastic creatures had been discovered inhabiting the surface of the moon. This astonishing revelation was attributed to Sir John Herschel, a renowned astronomer who allegedly made these incredible observations using a powerful telescope in South Africa. The New York Sun, by publishing a series of articles about this discovery, quickly became the best-selling newspaper in the Big Apple. However, as time went on, the truth emerged. The story was pure fiction, an elaborate hoax. Sir John Herschel had never made such claims, and the newspaper had created a fantastical tale to attract readers and boost sales. The sinking of the USS Maine. In February 1898, the United States warship USS Maine sank after a violent explosion off the coast of Cuba. The ship had been sent during the Cuban Rebellion against Spanish colonial rule. In a sensationalist press move, the New York Journal blamed the sinking on the Spanish without presenting concrete evidence to support its claim. The public opinion reacted by rallying for intervention, and so it happened. 2 months after the tragic event, the United States declared war on Spain, marking the beginning of the Spanish-American War in 1898. However, despite the New York Journal's claims and mounting evidence of Spanish involvement, official investigations were never able to conclusively determine the causes of the disaster, which some argue could have been triggered by an internal explosion rather than external interference. The Connelly Fairies. The Connelly Fairies were a renowned photographic hoax that captured the imagination of the public in 1917. Two young cousins, Elsie Wright and Frances Riffus, took a series of photographs that seemed to depict them alongside fairies in the Garden of Connelly, England. The images sparked fervent speculation about the existence of magical creatures and led many to believe that the fairies were real. The story of the photos also caught the attention of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the creator of Sherlock Holmes, who became convinced of their authenticity. However, in 1983, now grown women, Elsie and Frances, admitted that the photographs had been created using cut-out paper fairies, attached with pins. In fact, the fairies in the photographs closely resembled those illustrated in the 1915 book Princess Mary's Gift Book. Elsie and Frances' intention had been to have some fun, and they never expected their prank to spread so widely. Hagisib Simon. In 1913, a clever prank spread through French politics, aiming to highlight the vanity and shallowness of the politicians of the time. More than 100 French political figures received letters requesting funds for the celebration of the centenary of the birth of a certain Hagisib Simon, a supposed political figure born in 1813 and a precursor of democracy in France. Immediately, many prominent figures from the political and industrial worlds engaged in a ridiculous competition to demonstrate who was the closest friend and ally of the celebrated Simon. During those days, it seemed like nothing else was being talked about. However, there was just one problem. Hagisib Simon had never existed. The German Corpse Factory. In April 1917, during World War I, some newspapers in the United Kingdom published a shocking news story. The Germans had supposedly established a factory to extract nitroglycerin from the bodies of their own soldiers. The news was picked up back home and quickly circulated worldwide, enraging the government of Kaiser Wilhelm I. However, only years later, in 1925, Conservative MP Sir John Charteris, a former head of British intelligence, declared that the story had been entirely fabricated with the aim of influencing China's position. At that time, China had recently become a republic, and its chaotic situation made both opposing fronts eager to gain its support. In the case of the Corpse Factory, according to the account published by the New York Times, Charteris allegedly claimed that they intended to appeal to the traditional sense of respect for remains found in Asian cultures. In other words, the entire story was concocted to incite anti-German sentiment in Beijing. The Pilldown Man. In 1912, the discovery of fossil remains of a supposed missing link between chimpanzees and humans in Pilldown, England, was announced. Scientists were thrilled by this find as it appeared to provide evidence of possible human evolution. However, over the years, doubts began to emerge regarding the authenticity of the Pilldown Man. In 1953, a more in-depth analysis revealed a shocking truth. The fossils were an elaborate forgery. In essence, the skull belonged to a modern human, while the jawbone was from a prehistoric ape. Other remains were from chimpanzees and extinct animals. The perpetrator of the forgery remained unknown, but some clues pointed to a possible involvement of Charles Dawson, the main discoverer of the fossils. Bill Gates buys the Catholic Church. In 1994, an excerpt from a press conference began circulating on the internet, claiming that Microsoft was going to buy the Catholic Church. The text quoted Bill Gates as saying that he saw the church as a growing market and that the combined resources of Microsoft and the Catholic Church will allow us to make religion easier and more fun for many more people. According to the terms of the supposed agreement, Microsoft would acquire exclusive electronic distribution rights for the Bible. Microsoft had him issue a formal statement debunking the news as false on December 16, 1994. The authors of the hoax remained unknown. The incident became a humorous example of how misinformation and rumors can spread quickly, even in the early days of the internet. A controversial alien autopsy. In 1995, Ray Santilli claimed to possess unreleased footage of an alien autopsy conducted by the U.S. military shortly after the 1947 Roswell UFO incident. Santilli invited media representatives to watch the film at the Museum of London later that year and released a film containing what he claimed were scenes from the crash site and interviews with experts. However, in 2006, Santilli and his friend and producer Gary Schofield announced that their film was only partially authentic and that the remaining scenes had been reenacted. According to Santilli, a set was constructed in the living room of an empty apartment in Rochester Square, Camden Town, London. John Humphreys, an artist and sculptor, was employed to create two fake aliens. He had 3 weeks to complete the task and use structures made of plaster containing sheep brain and jelly, chicken intestines, and articulated mechanical joints. The goal was to make the aliens look realistic for the film. Wakefield and the antivaccination movement. In 1998, British doctor Andrew Wakefield published a controversial article in the journal Lancet, claiming a possible correlation between the measles, mumps, and rubella, MMR vaccine, and the development of autism in children. This publication triggered widespread concerns about vaccines and led many parents to express fears about the safety of vaccinations. However, over the years, serious doubts emerged about the validity of Wakefield's study. In 2004, journalist Brian Deard discovered that Wakefield's article had not undergone proper peer review and that there were significant conflicts of interest. It was revealed that the study had been generously funded by lawyers' lobbies supporting lawsuits alleging vaccine-induced harm. Subsequent investigations and detailed analyses showed no evidence of a link between the MMR vaccine and autism. In 2010, The Lancet retracted Wakefield's article, and he was subsequently struck off the medical register in the UK for unethical behavior. iPhone in the microwave. A dangerous and bizarre hoax shook the world of technology when a fake image, disguised as an official Apple communication, spread on 4chan. The announcement claimed that the highly anticipated iOS 8 operating system would introduce a revolutionary feature called Wave. According to this false information, users could fully recharge their iPhone 6 by placing it in the microwave for a few seconds at specific power levels. This hoax prompted some users to follow the false advice, causing irreparable damage to their devices. Dozens of iPhones were literally cooked in microwaves, destroying circuits and batteries. Thank you for watching today's video. If you found it informative, we invite you to subscribe to our channel. Feel free to leave a comment below, and be sure to stay tuned for more exciting videos coming your way.